Hey guys, welcome back to the 75-gallon project tank. So I've added the substrate. I went with black diamond blasting sand, and I'll show you that at the end of the video. I want to get the camera set up and get the testing done first, the water chemistry first. So, but I've done the sand. I did a 100% water change. The first tank full of water, I used a disinfectant to clean the tank up really good, and then I filled the tank up, and it smelled like pool water. So I wanted to, make sure I did a good rinse and get all that dechlorinator out. So I've done a 100% water change. When the water was out of it, I wiped it down real good, wiped all the residual residue off the tank, all of that. I did the same with the filter. So I filled it back up with water. I put a dechlorinator in. I use Prime. That's the dechlorinator that I prefer to use. It's good stuff. The water smells much better. It doesn't smell like pool water now with a lot of chlorinator in it. So it's working out really good. So today I want to get the water chemistry right, or not get it right, do the water chemistry testing. So get a baseline of where we're starting off at, and then see how we progress through the cycle. So I will be adding some fish food in here and let it rot today, so that we can get the cycle started, so I can get prepared to get my fish in, or start to get fish when we start to get a little bit of the cycle down. So today I just want to use the API Freshwater Master Kit. I've had this kit for a while. I trust it. It's pretty good. So we're going to be showing you a little bit on that, on how to use it. It's pretty simple. Read the directions. I created a cheat sheet because I don't like looking at that little tiny book. So I got me a little cheat sheet to help me, along the way. Instead of having glass, I have to have glasses to read tiny little. But the book, the directions in the book are, you can see that's pretty small stuff, and you got to read through all the warning labels and all that to get to the good stuff. So I made myself a little cheat sheet. So what you want to do is, it asks for 5 milliliters of water in your test tube. So for the test tubes, a little hint to that, you should, if you have one of these test kits, you should have a gallon of deionized water with you as well. Because after you use these, you want to rinse them with the DI water, not tap water, because tap water can leave salts behind, it can leave ammonia behind, and it can start to skew your test results. Very, very small, but they'll still skew them. So you always want to make sure you use DI water to rinse out your test tubes when you're done. And I'll always do a pre-rinse. I pre-rinsed all of my test tubes before I start. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the ammonia test, and I'm going to get 5 milliliters of water for my ammonia test. I'm using a laboratory grade pipette, but I work in a lab, so I have these tools on hand. You don't have to do that. You can just literally dip it in the tank and get your 5 mils. No big deal. But I have these tools accessible to me, so I use them. So this will be the ammonia and nitrite test tubes, and then this will be the nitrate. I'll put that one over there. If you don't have a test tube stand, they're pretty cheap, or you can make one yourself, or you just hold it in your hands. It's no big deal. It's not like you're doing a bunch of them, like you're doing 10 vials or anything. So you can do one of these tests one at a time. So for ammonia, we're going to add 8 drops of test solution 1. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 drops of test solution 1. Then we're going to cap that and do 8 drops of test solution 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm not sure if I'm in the way. I'm going to try to angle that better where y'all can see it. Now we cap the tube and shake for 5 seconds. As you can see, we already got color. So we know we got ammonia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, then it says set timer for 5 minutes, or let it sit for 5 minutes. We're going to set our timer for 5 minutes, and we're going to start that test. All right, our next test will be the nitrite test, which is just 1 bottle of 5 drops of solution. So 5 drops of solution, cap tube, shake for 5 seconds, set timer for 5 minutes. We'll set the timer for 5 minutes first. All right, we got timer for 5 minutes. And we're going to add, oh, wrong bottle. We're going to add 5 drops of the solution. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. We're going to cap it and shake for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And then we're going to hit that timer for 5 minutes. And the next we're going to do is the nitrate test. All right. This one's a little bit more involved than these other two. You got to do 10 drops of solution number 1. All right. So we have solution number 1. We do 10 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, 10 drops. Now for solution number 2, we got to cap the tube and invert several times to make sure we get a good mix. All right, so we're going to cap the tube. I don't like these tube caps, but they seal pretty tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, make sure we get a good mix. And those tubes, those caps fit on there very tight. It's a good thing, I guess. All right, solution number 2, we got to shake for 30 seconds. I'm going to set a timer for 30 seconds because I don't want to count for 30 seconds. So I'm just shaking away for 30 seconds. So I want to talk to you about the black diamond blasting sand. That was some pretty. It's a nice substrate. It's a lot of rinsing. If you do not have the space and time for rinsing, I would suggest going with the pre-washed aquarium sand because it took a lot of rinsing. It took me a couple hours to get it to where it was nice and clean. All right, we got our solution number 2 all shaken up, and we're gonna add 10 drops of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, 10 drops. And then we're gonna cap the tube and shake for 1 minute. So getting back to the black diamond blasting sand, like I said, it's a nice substrate. It looks really good. I'm gonna, after we get these test kits out of the way, I'll show you the substrate. It looks good. It's not all black. There's some amber hue to it. It's got like a lot of amber crystals in it, which you really only see it when you're really up close. But I mean, if you're looking at your fish tank, you're looking at it up close. But you know, it is a lot cheaper than aquarium sand. You know, I paid maybe 28 bucks for 100 pounds, and the black aquarium sand for 80 pounds was going to be over $100. So I went ahead and got the budget substrate just because I have the time and the area to rinse it out at. I just put it in 5-gallon buckets and just stuck the hose in there and just wish it around with my hand for hours trying to get all that dust out of it. All right, there we go. And then set timer for 5 minutes. All right, so we're gonna, looks like we got 30 seconds left on our ammonia, which we have the color wheel on the back. It's upside down for all of our tests. So we'll take a look and see what we got. For ammonia, it's going to be green, and yep, we already got green, so it's looking like we do have ammonia right off the bat. So I may not even really, might not have to feed this tank that much, since we already have ammonia in there. Okay, that one's done, and here's our ammonia test. So we got to match it up to the color. I like to overlay it and see how it best matches. And to my best judgment, it looks like we have between 0.25 ppm and 0.5 ppm of ammonia, which is pretty harmful to your fish. So this would be no good to start with fish. So we know we got ammonia in the tank, and we know we got to get rid of it. Our nitrite test is almost done, which ammonia converts to nitrite. And if you look at the color wheel here, our starting color was blue, and we are still in the blue. So we have 0 ppm of nitrite. So that's expected. We know there is no cycling happening right now. We know that the ammonia is not converting into nitrate, which that's what we got to be looking for, because it goes from ammonia to nitrate. And as they go down, ammonia is most harmful for fish, nitrite's less harmful for fish, and then nitrate's even less harmful for fish. But in high rates or high parts per million of nitrate can be harmful to your fish. So you always want to be below 40. You want to stick around that 20, really that 20 ppm range of nitrate. So we got a couple of minutes left before our nitrate sample is done, but I'm going to assume that we have no nitrate because we do not have a cycle yet, as this is a brand new tank. So let's go ahead and take a look at the sand. Let me get the camera up. So this here is the Black Diamond blasting sand. As you can see, it is not completely black. When I really zoom into this, you can see all the amber that's in it, little amber crystals. Now those amber crystals are a lot lighter in weight than the black particles. So essentially, you could, if you spend a lot of time, you could wash that out of there, because they do tend to float. Not float, but you can suspend it and have the black stuff drop out first, and then the amber stuff drop on top, and then you can kind of whoosh it out of the bucket with the hose. But I don't have that kind of time to separate that. That would be quite a bit of separation. But yeah, it looks good though. You back up from the tank, it's a good looking substrate. I have a ladder there. I don't have a tripod, so I use a ladder. I don't want to get it in the thing, but yeah, it's a good looking substrate. I like it. Turned out nice. I'll back up a little bit more so y'all can really get a good glance at it. But yeah, definitely turned out nice. Even with that amber in there, when you look at that really close, you don't really see it when you take a step or two back from it. The camera, I think, on my end, the camera picks it up more than what I can actually see it. When I look through the camera lens, I can see the amber more than I see it if I'm just looking through my eyes. So the next step to this tank is I bought suction cups, new suction cups for the heaters. This one keeps falling down, hitting the substrate. This one over here, the top one keeps uncoming undone, and it keeps tapping the glass. So I ordered those on Amazon. I got those coming. This guy in the comments commented on the aquarium lid hinges. Oh, our nitrate test is done. So if we look at our nitrate test, That's our nitrate color wheel there on the very far right. And we are yellow. So we have 0 nitrate, which is expected off of tap water because we haven't gone through the cycle yet, so we wouldn't be converting ammonia to nitrate just yet. So that'll be my test results for that. Also, I did not do the pH. I have a pH meter. My pH here is 7.38. I know the water is, it's kind of middle of the ground hardness. I can't remember the exact results, but I live in the same county that this tank is at, so I know that water is basically the same, and it's about mid-ground on hardness. So it's pretty acceptable for a lot of fish. I don't really have to chase any, I don't have to, do any RO or DI water to mix in with mine and lower the hardness to keep fish. It's basically, a pretty suitable water for a lot of fish. I've bred a lot of different fish in this type of water. So even South American stuff like Pistogramus, I did those a couple of years ago. Had really good results doing that in this water. So I know it's not exactly the same as the soft water, but it's not far from it. So there we have it. We have the test results in. We have ammonia, no nitrite, and no nitrate, which we have, what did I say, probably about 0.50 ppm of ammonia. So to kickstart the cycle off, I'm probably going to pull a filter from a filter I have at home. I have the same exact Marine Land Emperor 400 or Penguin 400, whatever they are. I think they're both the same thing. I have one of those on a tank at the house, so I'm gonna snag one of those, put a new one in it, and just bring it in here. That'll kickstart the cycle off, and then we'll give it a few days and do some more testing, and I'll do a video on that as well, on the progress of the cycling of the water. And also, I did get a few plants. I went to PetSmart to get the Prime, and they had some plants there for 50% off. They had an Amazon sword, a Fraseri anubius, and a narrow leaf fern, which is Java fern, I guess. So I have those. I got some small pieces of driftwood. I'm probably gonna attach all that to that. And then the Amazon sword, I got to plant in the substrate. But I wanted to get some root tabs before I planted it. So I'm gonna order root tabs today, and the Easy Green from Aquarium Co-op. Get that on order so I can get these plants planted. But I'm not gonna add any fish until I start seeing the ammonia disappearing. And yeah, so, but that's it for the 75 gallon today. Like I said, we're moving along. I want to get probably get a black background for it as well, since I'm going with this dark theme. But that's pretty much it for today, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Thanks.